Hello, everybody. This is Professor Pixel, and below me we have the real Dr. Venkman. Say hello, Venkman.
Hello, Venkman.
I'm coming to you, well, not quite live, from Sci-Fi headquarters, and we are here to review episode 5 of Resident Alien Love Language. This series, we've been enjoying it thus far, and where we left off, we were introduced to a character that claims to be Harry's wife. This episode starts out with a flashback to 5 years ago. Human Harry is there, and he's a successful doctor. He is at this
art gallery.
Yes, an art gallery, exactly.
Dinner slash, for rich yuppies.
And he lays his eyes upon a waitress. And he's like enchanted for a moment. And he's like, okay, excuse me.
Technically, she walked by and she kind of gave him like the flirty, like, hey, come follow me.
Hey, you, come here.
He went, hi.
But he didn't because he's a human. This is Human Harry. Yes. He goes over and they're talking about this piece, and they're hitting it off. And she's actually apparently the artist of the piece. And we see their story in flashes as a song by Nat King Cole is being played.
Did not know to recognize the song. I must be getting old.
There was a boy, a strange little boy, something like that. And then it ends basically with them kissing, the song playing, and then we cut to the present. The art of bullshitting is what Alien Harry is talking about, and Max is apparently the master of that art. He is the Michelangelo of bullshitting, because he was convincing Harry that maybe he did like him now and it was okay, but nope. And we see Harry driving and saying that Max is going to regret this. Then Max wakes up.
Yeah,
he's in his bedroom closet
with his jacket on backwards.
I didn't notice that.
Because Harry put his jacket on for him, but it's on backwards. It was zipped up too.
I didn't notice that. And his dad, the Mayor Snowflake, is there. And he's like, and the wife, he calls down the wife, I found him. And she's like, you didn't check the closet? They go down, Big Black shows up. And
he's happy to canvas. We're going to run some prints, stuff. And he's like, and I love how they said, Mary's like, yeah, I actually was in his closet. He's like, what? You wasted all this time? It's like, and I love the whole thing was like, Max says, like, he's like, well, it was, what's his name? Oh yeah, that's how it goes. Sheriff Black says, yeah, I cut your boy, on the state lines over there, or so far outside of town. And you're like, and the parents are like, you're not supposed to go that far. I was like, and I love the dad's like, you're grounded for a year, and the mom's like, what? Fine, for a week. It's like,
you're grounded for a day?
Yeah, it's like. But you find out that like what Zach or what Max was doing, Max was actually going out to. They learn he took the keys and they went into the aliens, doctor's house, went to his basement, and he has like yeah, and so they find out what you did what. So Max is in trouble.
So Max says that he has proof that Harry is an alien, and Sahar was with him and saw everything. We flash to her, and she's saying, I don't remember anything. She says she remembers going to the house.
On the bike, yeah, that's it.
But she doesn't remember ever going in. And Max is feeling kind of defeated at that moment. We go back to Alien Harry. He is...
in office. No. Was he in office or was he talking at the white? I think.
He goes back to his cabin after dropping the kids off.
Yeah.
And he basically is like, she's still here. And we learned that apparently Harry and Isabel were getting a divorce. And he needed to sign the papers, but he hadn't.
Human Harry had basically held it up in courts for all this stuff, be a jerk. So she hands him the paper to sign. It's like, so all you need to do is a sign.
To be fair, he did die.
I know, but she's like,
I don't think he actually held it up. I think he just died before he could handle the business.
I think she said it for a year though, actually. So it's been like 4 or 5 months probably, or how many months have it's been? It's not spring.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's like, here's the papers. All you do is sign these, and we can do it. And he's like, oh really? Okay, you signed it. She's like, you signed it that quick? He's like, yeah. Are you gonna go bye, leave now, go? Instead, she ends up getting frustrated. He's like, how dare you? It's like, and she runs into his bedroom and he closes. He's like, but that's where I sleep.
So he's laying on the couch, and in the middle of the night, she goes out and she basically spoons up to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, what is happening? Why is she against me? Actually, wait, this is quite nice.
It's like
she's like a hot ham.
Like a hot ham snuggle up next to me, kind of. He's like, and then she's sitting there, and he's like, I could get used to it. I could fall asleep like this, and then she starts snoring.
Yeah, kills it right there.
I love the next morning. He's in his truck though. He grabs because she woke him up. She was doing yoga. And he's like, "Where's my alarm?" He's like, "You can go off." I turned it off. I figured standing. He's like, "But I have to go to my job." And he explains, that he's working as the town doctor is like why? Because the other one's dead. he's only alive.
He
doctor.
Was murdered.
So he grabs his clothes, he goes in the truck, and he gets there, and then Darcy approaches him in the truck because you see his legs. He's putting pants on. He's like, "Are you not living in your truck?" And he's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Ooh, is that for me? Coffee?" She's like, "No." And she's pretty much, and it's funny is that she's trying to like really weirdly dump him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't care. I just want the coffee. And he talks to me. He's like, oh, it's because I'm my superior intellect. I'm just too smart for you. It's like, or something. And then she's like, yeah, it's or something like that. Intellect. Your ego is too big. Your
ego.
And he's like, oh, that's because you're dumb. He's like,
he's like, want to be with the smartest person in town?
Yeah. And I love it. He's like, human female. You're not supposed to call them dumb. And make fun of them. And I was like, I'll be in trouble. I'll expose my secret. I'll be in trouble. So he's like, give her a compliment. I forget what he said. He said something like, we're equally as smart. Like you're essential to the species.
You are as smart as any other member of our species. Yes. And as he's saying it, he takes the coffee that she set on the truck and says goodbye. And he walks away. And she goes to grab her coffee that she set down. And he's like, because he took it.
And that's the beginning of him being sneaky in this episode, as we get through. So he gets in there into the doctor's office. He's approached by Sam, the resident, the former doctor, the one that's been murdered. His wife brings her box file. He's like, here's his file. And he's like, I don't want the files. It's like,
I don't want the.
And she's basically trying to get him like for insurance money. Wrote a suicide. I get the money and stuff, because even though her husband was murdered, she's like she always wants insurance money. So it really makes me think: did she really kill him? Did she give him something, feed him something?
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yes. So he gives the box and like Jane walks in and he's like, here, go put this box of dead people's files along with the other dead people's files. Or like
put this box where the other dead people boxes go.
Yeah.
Adam is there.
Yeah.
And Jay says how her mom is really grateful that she got her home safe the other night, and asks her to basically come over for dinner to say thank you. But Asta's like, oh no, that's okay. No, I don't need to do that. And basically she runs away with the box and she goes to Harry and she's like, I have a problem. And he's like, yeah, so do I. That box keeps following me. She's basically saying that they need to do something about Jay. She can't be this close to her because she's going to screw something up. And
he's like, fire. And he's like, maybe we should fire her. I'll fire her.
Let me fire her. I'll do it. Meanwhile, the wife goes into the basement. She sees this like scarf.
Wait, you can explain how she gets in the basement. She sees that the door's locked. The door's locked with the padlock. She takes all the hinges off the door, goes in there, breaks the hinge off the freezer. He comes home, and he notices that.
Wait! You're getting too far ahead because she finds a scarf and she goes to the office, and she's like, so this is what you've been doing here. You've been cheating on me. And then they were getting divorced. They were separated. And Asta's there. So she meets Harry's wife. And Asta says, wait, Harry said that you were dead. And Isabel, the wife, looks at Harry and is like, oh, I'm dead, am I? I'm dead. And she starts opening the box and throwing the things out.
But this is before she accused of Harry sleeping with Asta. And Asta's like, what? I'm not the girlfriend. We go. Yeah, and she throws the files at him, and he's kind of like crazy. and I love how Asta kind of smiles too, because she's like, whatever.
she's seeing Harry get basically owned.
Right. So Asta continues with that, but she leaves. Harry, what happens is that after what's her name, Isabel, Harry's wife or soon to be ex-wife, whatever, she goes over to the bar. She's talking to Darcy. And Darcy's like, they're like, who needs men? Yeah, they're all like, yeah, this one, he's just like a know-it-all, kind of like a set in his ways. It's like, he's just so blunt. Yeah, I know. He's like, she's like, Darcy's like, yeah, I did a guy like that too. And I know I just printed everything, and they don't realize that they're talking about Harry. They both are talking. Neither one knows that each other's talking about him. They're drinking, and then you have the girl from the bowling alley, the town slut, comes up, and they're basically there's like, she's like, yeah, why don't you just go? It's like everybody knows you're loose. It's like you're not tight at all. And so they basically Darcy and that girl fight. It's kind of like cats, and then the girl walks away. And Darcy supports drink. Yeah, so women supporting women. It was like, what was with that though?
Yeah, it was odd.
But
cut back to the clinic, and Max's parents bring Max, and basically he says, I took your key and I made a copy. And Harry, while he's listening to this, he's like, I am feeling attacked. I am snowflaking.
Because remember, he said, before he even apologized, he's like, I don't forgive you. Wait, you didn't apologize yet.
Because Harry's like, I do not appreciate this accusation. And Ben, the mayor, is like, we're not accusing you of anything.
I know, he's so wrapped around, he's confused. You'd think he'd learn more from like watching TV.
And basically, he's like, I don't accept your apology. And he's like, they're basically, he's saying he's an alien. He's a dirty, disgusting alien. He's right here. And Harry has a plan. He's like, I have an idea. And they put a bunch of photos, random celebrities. Sam Neill's there, and then they have Harry's photo. And they ask him to basically point out which one Harry is. And he points to Sam Neill. And
it's funny, is that the mom and the dad didn't the mom was pointing like, that's Sam Neill. It's like, and the dad's like, no, that's not. It's so and so. I forgot what he said the name was. And I after everything, and like Harry's like, it's like, obviously, he's like, you both are wrong, Poor Max suffers from blind face. He cannot, people see he's blind when it comes to people's faces. Like, you're here. I'm worried about his hair. He's, with your hair receding like that, he might go bald.
And
then
I do love the way that he just leans up. Max, I do forgive you. And I forgive you because you are a very sick little boy.
Yeah.
And basically, he's talking to the mom saying that I know he uses their love to get to them and try to send Max away to a school in Georgia. And mom is quite easily convinced. Big Black, meanwhile, is trying to think.
You passed up. You passed up what Harry said. He's like, obviously, how can you? He says to the dad, how can you not put Samuel? It's the guy for the Jurassic dinosaur documentary.
The Jurassic era dinosaur documentary. Exactly. I was dying at that.
He thought it was real. He didn't realize it's a movie.
Oh, that was great. But yeah, after that, Big Black is trying to think through the case, and as he's saying things like, so we have this here, and he looks to his deputy. Are you playing with a yo-yo?
Yeah,
and
Liz,
yeah. Yo-yo.
Liz is like, it helps you relax. He's like, well, I need to relax. I'm all go crazy up here, and stuff, He takes it, and he doesn't know how to use it. He's like, he throws it on the ground.
Exactly. After that, though, we go back to Darcy and Isabel. And they're drinking, and now they're slurring because they've had so much whiskey. And
we're recapping again.
We're
recapping again. We already went over this.
Well, yeah, but it happens. It continues. And basically, they repeat what they said before, and Isabel actually is telling Darcy, you gotta go for it. If you're really interested to him, you just gotta go and you gotta be bold. And again, she doesn't realize she's talking about her husband, Harry. The next thing is the big drama moment of the episode. Jay is picking up the files. Is going through Sam's files in his box, picking them up from the floor, and she sees a birth certificate. And Asta comes in, and she's trying to fire Jay, saying that, oh, we don't really need you anymore. And Jay's like, this here says you had a baby.
Exact same day as mine, birthday and everything.
Yep. And she puts 2 and 2 together, and she basically tries to figure out. So wait, if you're mommy, who's daddy? Please tell me it's not that loser Jimmy. Asta's silent a moment, and she's like, "Oh gosh,
I really won the lottery with that one, didn't I?"
And she basically storms out. Harry walks in the room and says,
"I wanted to fire
her."
Basically, yeah. Oh man.
After that, Asta's out on the bench. Hello. And Harry joins her, and they're having a short conversation about what kind of. I remember Harry's trying to basically say the situation, and Asta's like, "You're one to talk. Who lies about saying their wife is dead?" And actually, in that moment, Harry responds, humans lie. That's just part of what they do. Maybe they just want to hide themselves and that keep themselves from other people. Jimmy, we haven't seen him since the first episode. He comes up and he's acting like he doesn't remember Harry.
No. Opposite. Jimmy was called by Asta. They're gonna go meet him at the diner. Harry was at the bench still. And Harry's like, oh, and Harry pretends that he doesn't know Jimmy. He's like, oh, introduce him. He's like, it's like, and Jimmy's like, what do you mean you don't remember? Because he remember the whole thing. He got his ass kicked by Harry at the cabin, and he's like, pussy. Basically, like Harry in his head, he's like thinking like, you don't want to shake my hand, and I'll be your scared little chicken. I love how Harry's like, so freaking smug, confident. He's shaking his head. He's like, yeah, I kicked your ass last time. I'll do it again. So Jimmy and Astra go to the diner. Astra is gonna break the news, tell him that that the daughter, Jay is her daughter, and all stuff. And I love how like Jimmy looks. He's like, and you just see it over his shoulder. You just see it. Harry's like,
he's sitting at the booth behind watching, and he asks, "Are you her bodyguard now?" And
I'm a ninja.
Says, I prefer ninja. Exactly.
Ash explains that he's been watching this thing about monks and ninjas because before this on the bench, I forgot to mention this. Harry had mentioned like he's like human emotions are weird as far as monks. Well, they get rid of the pain, but there's one monk lit himself on fire. I'm sure he felt pain. So I love this. So then Jimmy and Astra have a little fight because he's like, wait, you had her working at the place, you knew the whole time. He's like, you idiots. It's like now, and she's basically asked us, don't go. If she has to talk to you, just leave her alone. And he's like, so Jimmy leaves, and she's I love how Astra's like looks over the table like, wait, where's Harry? He's behind booth there. He's like, ninja.
Yeah, Dan basically sits with Asta and comforts her, and that gives Harry the moment to just swoop. Afterward,
back at the house,
Harry goes home. The wife is still there. And he's like, why is she here? I terminated the relationship.
I signed the papers. What she wanted. What else did she...
She seems to have sobered up. And she's cooking steaks. He asks, where did you get the steaks? And she says, oh, the freezer down in the basement. And he's like, that's impossible. The freezer, the basement is... And he sees the door open. And she's like, okay, I need to go grab some peas. And he's like, I'll get them.
No, because she asked her like, well, why is it locked up? And she's like, she made comments like, it's funny it's locked up. This isn't a bad neighborhood, and there's no reason to lock it up. And he's just like, it's like, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna grab some peas. Like, no, don't worry, I'll go get. Goes down there. When he moves the pea, you see human Harry's dead body's face. He's like, ugh. He just puts more steaks on, buries it, to look at it. He goes upstairs, and they're eating the peas, and like they have like dinner and stuff. Eventually it leads to dancing, and they're like, it's kind of get a little romantic, and then they start kissing.
Well, it's not quite that way.
Which way was it? Because it was human.
Because you see, while they're eating and they're dancing, Darcy is pulling up. She goes up to the window, and because she hears the music, and she's holding a bottle of wine because Isabella.
Champagne, I think it is a.
She told her to go after what she wanted, but what she wanted was Isabella's, and she's like, shit. She leaves the bottle in the snow and walks away.
And then you see her. I knew it was going to happen. She walks back, grabs a bottle, and leaves again. I was like, really?
After the dancing, Isabella asks, "What's next?" And he says, "I can only think of one thing: scrub the pans before you leave." And he's starting to go to his room. But she starts singing that song that the episodes basically started with.
Yeah, where they met. Yeah.
It strangely enchants Harry.
I think the voice. I think either he has human emotions, or is there strictly connected to her, even though he's taken on Harry's form. So maybe he still kind of has the same emotions towards her, or he's just a horn dog.
No, because he doesn't quite understand what's happening as he's listening to her sing, and the song is actually quite fitting for Harry.
Yeah.
And as he walks up, and as she finishes the song, and they do start kissing, actually kissing, not
I know,
like
it's not like licking and stuff.
Yeah, and
takes it to the bedroom.
Cuts away. Max is going to the door, and he's going to basically talk to his parents, but he hears them talking about sending him away
to Georgia.
And he said, Georgia,
because that was what Harry suggested. The mom, there's a nice institute. They'll take care of him. He's a special boy. They'll take care of all his needs in Georgia. Because he said Harry just wants him out of there. He's like gone. She's like. So he's Max is all depressed. So let me quit back to the scene.
Yes, and Harry doesn't understand about anything that's happening.
He's trying. I love how he's trying to get the bra off, and he's like, he skips up.
How do I?
Which is funny is how this show started off. In the if you saw in the opening credits, it showed the alien trying to hook a bra in the drawings. So it's like, oh,
it relates. She's a good sport though. She after they're finished though, she says, basically, we're never going to break up. We're going to be together forever. And he's just staring up, and he's like, shit. It cuts to Max, and he says to Sahar, who's been reading this book, that basically it's over. He's going to be sent away to Georgia, and it's going to end. And Sahar's like, no, you're not. I have an idea, and you're not going to be going anywhere. The next morning,
and it's
Harry,
that's the first time we see her actually hair, because she's not wearing the head dress.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't notice that. Well, as I was saying, though, next morning, Harry's drinking coffee at the diner. Max and Sahar go up to him, and back and forth, they're basically combating him verbally as he's saying that I'm going to spit on Max's ashes. Spit on his grave, spit on his ashes. Oh, the ashes are actually in your pocket, and so you just spat into the sea. Your spit's never going to be anywhere. Right on Max. And he's like, that's not normal human behavior. So she says that basically what they're going to do is hold their breath until he promises to leave Max alone. And they both start doing it. And he's like, fine, that's okay.
More oxygen for me.
Yeah.
He's breathing it in. And he's like, and after a while, he's like, okay, let's just stop. It's freaking me out. And it's like,
the kids say that they want a truce. And Harry reluctantly agrees. And they start talking and explaining things to each other. Why do humans fold pizza? And
didn't he say the truth? He's like, I can still kill Maxwell, right? And she's like, no, that's not part of the truth. Because he still want to kill it. He didn't know the truth. But yeah, they say, I love it how they start asking. He asks some questions. He's like, with pizza fall, he's like, oh, it's physics. It's hard. It's hard, easy to hold. The toppings will slide off. And they start asking him about questions about space and stuff. Is that really a way station? Remember the other episode? He said about how it was the moon is way. So he's like, yes, it's correct. It's like, and they basically start bonding. And because what it was is that he agreed that he'll basically keep Max from going to Georgia. He'll go fix everything for the next episode. So we got some weird unfinished questions still. But before all this even ends, after that, in the diner we have Jane, and she gets in there and she comes and talks to Dan, and she's like, well, I don't have money for coffee. He's like, don't worry, you can have whatever you want. Family gets to eat for free, whatever you want. She's like, well, in this case, I'll have 2 burgers, one for here, one to go, and I'll have some of this pie. And I kind of like how they're bonding. She's still mad at her mother.
Yeah.
She's bonding with Dan, and who can say no to free food? If that's all I gotta do to get back to if I ever have a kid by adoption and they discover that I'm their dad, here's pie and 2 burgers.
That's also a problem.
It's the human way.
So
it's the human way.
During this moment, we get flashes of people before Jay went in to talk to Dan. She got a look at Asta, but they didn't say anything. They just continued on their way after looking at each other a moment. Darcy, miserable, but we hear Harry basically say, I think I know why humans lie now. They keep their secrets to themselves because they don't want anybody to see their true self. And when I think I understand why I was so upset when I realized Max could see me, because I felt vulnerable, exposed. But now that I'm actually talking to him just 10 minutes with these kids, I think I like them. Mm-hmm. And it's a sweet moment. The deputy comes up and gives a report on Sam. He was poisoned. I thought we knew this episodes ago, but the Big Black stands up. He's like, yes, a murder! Yeah. Right in the diner. And everybody's just looking at him a moment.
But before this, throughout the episode, there was a scene in there in the diner where we actually see Sheriff Black and we learn more about who he is. He originally was working in D.C., but he relocated to this town to take care of his ill father, who has a dysfunctional relationship with. And it's like,
oh yeah, when you see how Big Black acts with his dad,
Sheriff Mike Thompson, also known as Big Black.
That's right. Hey, he's the one who wants to be called Big Black.
I know. It's what he wants to be called as. That's what we call him as.
So he when you see him with his dad, you realize how not like himself he is. He's not confident, almost overbearing with his personality. He's just kind of, his father basically makes him feel small, and you can clearly tell that. The episode comes basically to an end with Harry, and he's talking about, well, his human self's wife that's laying next to him. And he's like, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. She's strange. I like her, but there are just some things. And she's snoring, and he's watching her.
He pinches her nose. Yeah. I just want to end it all. He pinches his nose and she starts breathing her nose, and he lets go. He's like, fine. But then she starts snoring again. He goes to push the pillow in her face, but then she turns over. Stops snoring.
I just need some sleep.
So like I said, this brings to you some questions. Is he really a human body now, or is he still got alien, DNA in him? Because this is turning into aliens now. Where is she gonna give birth to some kind of xenomorph if she gets pregnant?
I do not know. I think it's to the point where if he goes to a doctor, he'll seem like a normal human. If we haven't actually seen him with a cut or anything, I don't believe.
No,
so we haven't seen him bleed, and we don't know if he bleeds normal. But so we don't have any idea yet.
We also, what's going on with those 2 government agents, spooks, that are looking for him. They weren't in this episode whatsoever.
No, it was quite strange. But another note, Harry makes a mention of wanting to look for his device, but he gets so distracted that he's not
Well, he
able
was
to.
mad because she didn't. It's an alarm clock. Instead of going to work, he's like, I was gonna go look for my device, but damn woman.
So basically, we I don't know. He didn't think about that, and he's starting to bond with these humans.
Yeah.
It's getting dangerous for him. And I just wonder where it'll lead. But each episode, this is just getting better and better. I really do enjoy it. Alan Tudyk plays his character so well. Plays both characters so well.
Like I said, seeing him, I always thought he was short because he's always next to people who are taller than him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how tall what's his name is not he plays Nolan on Rookie. I forgot what his name is. He was also on Castle.
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion's a pretty tall guy. And Alan Tudyk was next to him on an episode, and he looked short. So either the women in here are really short, and so are the guys, to make him look taller, or Nathan Fillion is just like a freaking 6'5" guy or something like that.
I believe Alan Tudyk is 6 flat. At least I think so. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's 6 feet. He's 6 feet. So yeah. Because he's like I said,
I feel like this show always is elevating itself, and I wonder how many episodes are left. I feel like we're getting close to a breaking off point, and that worries me because I really do enjoy this show, and I do want more.
And we know with sci-fi, when you like something, everybody loves something, they have to cancel it because, and for what the nature of the show, the fact that sci-fi is putting out something that's catering to people that they normally don't cater to, actual people who actually want to watch stuff, good shows. This show could be really woke if they wanted to, like CW, but it's not. It's like the farthest it could. And so it's like, wow. I haven't noticed anything in here that could be even considered to be remotely political, motivated outside of the events in the story. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually been very decent, and I'm happy for that. And I look forward to watching the next episodes. And I'm curious. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked up to see how many episodes are going to be for this season, but I assume there's only going to be 10 if it's like a Netflix show. I'm not used to watching stuff on live TV anymore. I'm used to it comes and it's made from Netflix or Amazon. Usually like 10 or 8 episodes, but yeah, I'm looking forward more to this. All the characters are awesome in this.
Yep.
I said it's such a funny show. He's like I said, at first I was like, oh, is this gonna be weird and cringy? But then it got out to be actually really, really good. And it almost feels like I'm watching something from the 90s, before all this political nonsense and everything had to be all vote for this, whatever reasons, propaganda. This doesn't preach to me. This is, and I said I'm gonna go look up the comic books for this, because if the comic books are any as funny as the show is, I'm gonna enjoy them a lot.
Oh, same here, because it's just been a great ride the entire way through, and I look forward to seeing just how it goes. So everybody, thank you for watching. We will be continuing this series the whole way through, at least for the first season. Make sure that you make sure that you're subscribed, hit that notification bell if you haven't. And if you have, leave it alone. You want to hear more, if you want more content like this and want to know when it comes out, just leave it be. And we will be getting out more to you soon. So speaking for Fankman, speaking for myself, have a good night